All right, this tips and tricks segment is a very short one. This question comes up a lot. So if you're playing with Legolas or the Blade of Gondolin, they say they can place progress tokens on the current quest. And the question that gets asked is, what if there's an active location? The progress goes on the active location first. The active location just acts like a buffer to the quest. So when you would trigger either of these responses, you would place progress on the active location. If there is no active location, you would place it on the quest. If the current quest only needs one progress, you can trigger the blade, clear that quest, then do any when revealed and whatever you got to do when you flip over to the next quest card. And then you would actually be able to trigger the response on Legolas and place 2 progress on the next quest stage, or vice versa. Finally, if the active location is immune, that means neither of these will work and you don't place any progress at all, because the progress would have to go on the active location, and since it can't, you would not place the progress. Alright, so let's take a look at the quest we're about to play. It introduces a new keyword called Lost and the locate test, and I don't even know if those are keywords, but basically we're going to have to make locate tests in this quest, which means when we're told to make a locate test, we may discard a card from our hand, and then we discard the top card of the deck. And if the encounter deck card that we discarded has the pass keyword on it, then we pass that test and we don't have to do anything else. But if we do not get a pass, we're allowed to then discard another card and see if we pass, and then another card. And you can discard your entire hand. I've discarded 13 cards in a row and never got one pass. So locate tests are very hard to do. The encounter deck is very thick, so the odds of you hitting a pass are very slim. Of course, you can get lucky and hit it, but normally I just basically plan on being lost. I'm not going to pass that test. And then the last thing I want you to take a look at here is the Long Dark difficulty level 7. Just keep that in mind, that this thing is rated a level 7 out of 10. Alright, let's go get lost in the dark. Alright, let's run through setup. Nothing too fancy here. 1A, we're going to grab the cave torch and attach it to a hero of our choice. And then side 1B, 13 quest points, and then we're going to discard cards until we get a location, 1 less than the number of players in the game, to a minimum of 1. We add those locations to the staging area, then we shuffle all the cards back in, and then while this quest card is active, each location gets +1 threat, and then if we ever quest unsuccessfully, we need to trigger any lost effects in play. The cave torch, we've seen this before, so you attach it to someone, it's restricted, and then you can exhaust it to place 3 progress on a dark location, but then you need to discard the top card of the encounter deck, and if that card is an enemy, you add it to the staging area. Since it's restricted, I'll be attaching that to Eowyn. Yes, Eowyn is back. So she's questing for 4. You can discard a card to boost her willpower by 1. This quest is all about willpower. Biffer, he's going to be questing for 3 as long as Dine's ready, and then you can move a resource to his resource pool from another hero. And then finally Dine, he's going to be boosting my other dwarves, and he's going to be my defender if I have to engage an enemy. So it's a tri-sphere deck. We've seen this lineup before. I am going to be trying to generate as much willpower as possible and just try to run through this quest and turn the long dark into the short dark. And once again, I'm using our custom tracker. Resources across the top, my threat is on the bottom. Alright, let's take a look at my opening hand. Alright, Ancient Matham, attached to a location. When it's explored, draw 3 cards. There's a 1/1/1 dwarf, another Ancient Matham. Escort from Edoras can quest for a lot. Untroubled by Darkness is a new one I put in this deck, so that boosts dwarves, especially if you're underground. And Gandalf, that's a lot of spirit cards. I will have a lot of trouble getting all those cards into play, so we're gonna shuffle that one away. I was really happy to see the Untroubled by Darkness and the Ancient Mathams, but I didn't like seeing all those spirit cards. I would have most likely not been able to play too much. So let's try to see if we can get a better distribution of spheres. Okay, so the Erebor Hammersmith. There's Faramir, some nice willpower boosting. There we go, Narvi's Belt. Going to get that on Biffer ASAP. Escort from Edoras is back. For 2 spirit resources, it will quest for 4 and then leave play at the end of the phase. Durin's Song boosts the dwarf, and then Ancestral Knowledge exhausts a dwarf to place 2 progress, 4 if it's underground or mountain as the active location. So that's a much better opening hand. I got a cheap dwarf that I can play on turn 1 because I can move a resource to Biffer. I got Narvi's Belt, which is going to let me do some resource smoothing, and that's always great. If I can get Steward and Narvi's Belt on the same dwarf, that's really good. So let's start discarding cards until we get a location. So I'm just going to talk over this while I discard a million cards, and then I have to shuffle all of them right back into the deck. So yeah, I like this opening hand. So the goal is to put Narvi's Belt on Biffer, since he can have resources moved to his resource pool, and then I can spend those as any sphere that I want. There are locations in this dark okay, there's one, finally. So I get the Dwarven Forge. It's 2 threat, 4 progress. It has a lost effect, so if I ever have to trigger the lost effects, I would have to discard a card from my hand. And you can also see it has the pass keyword in the bottom right corner. Okay, so I need to shuffle everything back in, and then we can begin turn 1. Alright, and I'm going to draw another copy of Narvi's Belt. It's unique, so you only can have 1 in play. And so looking at my opening hand, there's really nothing I want to play at this exact moment. I could move a resource over to Biffer to play that Hammersmith, but I think I will save my resources for next round and just get more stuff into play. With just Eowyn and Biffer, I can quest for 7, 8 if I want to discard something, so I'm pretty sure I'm not going to quest unsuccessfully. So that Dwarven Forge, it's boosted by the quest card, so it's actually a 3. And alright, we get Branching Paths, so all dark locations get +1 threat. So when you add it all up together, I'm at 6 against 7, but I'm going to use the action window now to trigger the torch. So you discard the top card, it wasn't an enemy, and then that places 3 progress on Branching Paths, but now we got to do the effect on Branching Paths. So when that leaves play as an explored location, you look at the top 3 cards, you reveal 1, and you put the other 2 on the bottom of the deck. So we get this little goblin sneak. I really don't want to be engaged with any enemies. I'm hoping just to get out of here without engaging anything. So I'm going to put the mountain's roots in the staging area, or as we say in Michigan, the mountain roots. And so that is a 2 threat location, which means we make 2 progress, which is great. I just wanted to make any progress. We're going to travel to this 4 progress underground location. I have that Ancestral Knowledge in hand, so I'll be able to clear that. And then, oh, perfect. Okay, there's an Ancient Matham. So 1 spirit resource to put that on the active location. I have 2 leadership resources, so I am going to put Narvi's Belt. I was thinking on Dyne, because that's who's paying for it, but I actually meant to put that on Biffer. So there we go. So now Biffer can exhaust that and spend his resources as any sphere of his choosing for that phase. And then if I move Eowyn's resource into Biffer's pool, he'll have 3 resources, and if I spend them all as lore, I can actually get a dwarf in and clear that active location. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's move the resource. There we go. He has 3 resources. We're going to play the Erebor Hammersmith for 2. And then we're going to play Ancestral Knowledge, which says exhaust a dwarf character to place 4 progress on an underground location. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to exhaust that Hammersmith. That clears the active location. Ancient Matham now triggers, and I draw 3 cards. So that worked out really well. I get the Legacy of Durin, I get Steward, and I get a cheap dwarf. So beautiful. That is 3 really great cards. I'll be able to play next turn. Once again, questing for 7. And when revealed, the first player makes a locate test. If this test is failed, raise each player's threat by 7, remove all progress tokens from play, and then trigger all lost effects in play. Okay, so I gotta make a locate test. I mean, I could just not do it, but I have that extra copy of the belt, so I might as well try. So I will discard the belt. Now we're going to discard the top card and see if it has pass on it. Of course it doesn't. So I think I'm probably going to fail. Is there anything else I could get rid of? Durin's Song. Yeah, I doubt I'll play that. So let's try one more time. And yeah, no, I'm still lost. So we're just going to have to raise our threat by 7. And I realized I had forgotten to raise my threat at the start of this previous turn. Okay, well, that's a decent amount of threat in one round. So now I need to remove all progress in play, so that's going to bring me back down to 0. But I don't have any lost effects in play. So I'm going to be questing against 2 with my 7, so I'm going to make a net gain of 5 progress after this is all said and done. And then let's travel to the mountain's roots. Alright, so we're going to go to the next round. Everyone's getting some money. I'm going to remember to raise my threat this time, and we draw another copy of Legacy of Durin. Okay, it's another card I could discard to a locate test if I have to make one. So I'm going to send Dine's resource over to Biffer. Biffer's going to exhaust the belt and say Leadership. I'm going to play the Steward of Gondor. So Biffer still has 2 resources. I'm going to spend one of Biffer's resources to put in the Legacy of Durin. So when I play a dwarf from my hand, I can exhaust it to draw a card. And now I make a mistake, and I decided to leave it in the video. I decided instead of recording a new video, I'll just talk about it. I used Biffer's ability twice, and I actually used Narvi's belt ability twice. And a lot of times people say, like, hey, what can I do to stop that from happening? And even though there's a token on Narvi's belt, I still missed it. So maybe I should be using some brighter colored tokens, or I could turn Biffer all the way upside down so he's 180. You know, whatever. If I need to be doing something like that, I probably should, because it is easy to sometimes forget that you've triggered something in the round that's only able to be triggered once. So I am going to play a Ziggy right now and draw a card, but I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. His 2 willpower he adds this phase doesn't affect anything, and then I would have been able to pay for him next round because Eowyn would have had 2 resources. So it doesn't affect the game any, so I decided instead of recording a new video, we'll just leave it in here. But I really need to be more careful about using certain abilities twice in the same round. It's an easy mistake to make. So let's just assume I'm sending 9 on the quest. We reveal this guy, he engages me. So I'm up against nothing, so 1 goes there and 8 goes through, and since we had 5 on the quest already, that's 13. So we progress to stage 2B. Alright, so 2B, 17 progress. When revealed, we have to make a locate test. If we fail the test, we have to reveal an encounter card, and then we're going to trigger all lost effects in play. And then if we quest unsuccessfully, we need to trigger all lost effects. And then if we defeat the stage, we win. So we just need to make 17 progress. So I'm not worried about this failing the locate test because I don't have any lost effects in play. So let's give it a shot. I doubt I'm going to pass it. I'll discard my extra copy of Legacy of Durin, and yep, of course, don't pass it. So now we got to reveal a card, and it's a Treachery. There's a pass if I would have discarded 1 more card. When revealed, attach this card to a location in the staging area with the highest combined threat and remaining quest point. Counts as a condition attachment. Each enemy revealed from the encounter deck gains Surge. Well, there is no location in the staging area, and the card itself doesn't surge, so let's just go right to combat. No shadow there. So yeah, we're just going to go to the next round. So 17 progress and I win. And I get a Strider's Path, which would let me immediately travel to a location. So here, like I said, Eowyn could have spent 2 resources and put the Ziggy into play if I wanted to. So I do have 3 resources on Biffer. So if I trigger Narvi's belt and say Leadership, I can put in Faramir. And Faramir, you can exhaust him to add +1 willpower to everybody. So that seems pretty good when I'm trying to make a lot of progress. I slide Eowyn's resource over to Biffer. And then we're going to commit to the quest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 against nothing. And we get another Goblin follower, so that engages me. So there's nothing in the staging area. And if I exhaust Faramir, that puts me at 15. And then if I discarded a card to Eowyn, that would put me at 16. 1 short from winning. And because I have 2 enemies engaged with me, I'm not going to exhaust Faramir. I'm going to leave him up so he can help defend. So I have made 11 out of 17 progress on my first attempt. Going to get 2 shadow cards. I have 2 characters that are ready. Dine's defending for 3 against 3. That's nice to see go away, so he takes no damage. Faramir has 2 defense. It says I cannot basically attack the enemy after this, which is fine. I have nobody ready. I don't really ever intend on killing anybody in this quest. I just plan on just questing out of it. That's my whole plan. If I have to engage something, I'll defend it with dying, but hopefully I can get in and out of this quest in a few rounds and never have to get enemy swarmed. Alright, so lots of resources, and I draw Untroubled by Darkness. Each dwarf character gets +1 willpower into the end of the phase. Well, that's great. That's really great, because all I need to do is, what do I need to make? 6 progress, and I'm up against nothing. So yeah, I'll just play this Untroubled by Darkness and give all my dwarfs an extra boost. So to do that, I trigger Narvi's Belt to give me that extra resource. And we're going to send, those guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have to double count because I missed a willpower on Biffer there. I got a lot of global boosts going on. It's easy to miscount stuff. So yeah, 14 against nothing, and I just reveal a 1-threat enemy. And I could still do Faramir. I could still discard a card to Eowyn. So yeah, this was a very easy quest. Difficulty 7, everybody. A difficulty 7 quest there. Alright, hope you enjoyed that one. Hope you don't make the same mistakes I do and use abilities more than once. It's easy to do, and if you got a tip or a trick that you do to keep from doing that, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested in talking about it in a future video. Alright everybody, take care. Hope you enjoyed that one. Bye-bye.